Alright, welcome back to Roguetech and welcome back to Challenge Run, No Tech, No Mechs. So, we are going to outfit these 6 mechs, or start to. The cockatrice we're going to start with because we have the fewest supplies for it. We're going to repair it, and right now it's got a 0 out of 0. These lamb turbines, I think just take 1? I don't know, let's toss some cores and see. Nope, they take 4. Okay. So if we put in a 265, that's enough. Now, what I want to know is, do these lamb boosters also, yes, they, actually, interesting. So the lamb booster actually kind of works like improved jump jets. So, yeah, overweight, because it's carrying capacity. That's really interesting. So actually I could go with, hypothetically, a lower rated core. And still, wow. Still have the adequate... Okay, not 145. So 200 is actually the smallest core I have. Now, I don't know. I have not messed with lambs enough to know if the engine core has any other bearing, other than if it's not in lamb mode or the number of jump slots hardpoints it has. I do know that the carry weight is both for the wing-mounted weapons as well as the lamb booster. So I could, you cannot use, I already poked around a little bit, you cannot use TSM with a lamb. However, interestingly, we can actually use these lower melee weapons to increase the carry capacity, which is super interesting. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not going to put an engine core in it. I am literally just going to repair it and wait for your comments. Oh, I'm also going to drop the supercharger. I don't think the supercharger will work with lamb mode. I think that's just for mech mode. If I'm wrong, I'd still rather have the supercharger somewhere else. So, yeah. This is what it's going to look like for now. Although I do really... Where's wing mount? I do really want to give it this Vulcan gun pod, because it does structure damage, armor piercing, and the other daisy cutter. So I'm going to drop the wing-mounted bombs, and it's going to have 2 very big bombs in 2 daisy cutters, as well as the Vulcan gun pod. Now, I will need to increase the carry capacity, but as I said, you know, I can use the lower melee weapons potentially to give us the ability to use a lamb booster as well, even if it's a smaller one, like 30%. But I have no idea what the lamb booster is on about whenever it says provides 0.45 hex jump distance, 12 units walk speed in lamb mode, like afterburner. I have no idea what any of this means. So if you have information about lambs, please drop it in the comments so that I can learn about lambs and have a better idea of what I should be doing with this. But for now, I'm just going to make sure I didn't do something stupid. We're going to jump back in here. We're going to repair the cockatrice, and we're going to drop the supercharger. That's it. That's all we're doing for now. Validate, confirm, confirm. I still don't have a pilot that can use the neural implants for the cockpit interface. And the cockpit interface is kind of important to be able to use the center, torso, everything. So until we have a lamb pilot that also has neural implants, it's just going to be a thing that we want to eventually run. The Panther, I actually have a idea of what to do with. Do we have spare Indo? Yes, we have spare Indo. Okay. But we're going to start with the Wolverine. This is going to be the simplest build. We're just making this back into a melee mech. Just 100%. It's back to a melee mech. So we want lower melee weapon, lower melee weapon. These give the best damage per tonnage and stability per tonnage, twice as much as the lower melee. It doesn't care about punching, but that's fine. If we can punch, we should be able to use the melee weapon. And it doesn't get the +1 accuracy for punch, but again, if we can use the lower melee weapon, or if we can use the weapon, we probably want to use the weapon. So these two increase the carry capacity a bit. So we can then put the we can then put the 10-ton mace and just need to get a little bit more. And the way we can get a little bit more easily, since this is not a lamb, is by giving it some good old TSM. Alright, so now we have all the carry capacity we need for the 10-ton mace, and to also have... Oh, we're so close. I would like to also put in the other side torso a bolt-on AMS. So to do that, we need 0.1. Well, luckily, we do have the ability to use the grippy hand here, and ta-da! We are able to use the 10-ton mace with the bolt-on AMS and keep the advanced optics as well. The advanced optics is important because it does give night vision, basically. The negates no visuals penalty within 100 meters means anything in 100 meters can be seen regardless of sensor rolls, regardless of night, regardless of anything. So, yeah. And then up to 150 meters we get +1 accuracy. So we have a Rack 5 in our side torso, which will happily benefit from the increased accuracy and night vision, as well as a 10-ton mace. We just need to give it a cockpit enhancement. We have a lot of clan cockpits floating around. And since we have so much tonnage left, I'm thinking of making it stealth. I know stealth works better, like way better, if you're at distance, but I mean, in theory, actually no, the engine core is small. Yeah, let's increase that. Before I even go off on the entire crazy tangent of trying to make it stealth, let's up armor it. Of course, I forgot that it wasn't full on armor, and then some back armor as well. It also does not have a double. Okay, so we can increase the core and give it an XL engine. So that'll let us increase the core by quite a lot. Let's see, 55, 110, times 4 is 220, so 440 we don't have, obviously. That's a super heavy engine, but 440 would be 812. Moving back from that by 110 at a time, that means 330 is probably going to be, yeah, nice. So we are getting 6-9 on the move sprint, which is pretty good. We also can, if we free up slots, we could put a mask in it, which I would very much like to do. The difference between the clan mask and the mask is partially the tonnage. It takes half a ton less on this chassis. But the other thing is the failure chance, and this is a 5% base fail, whereas a standard mask... Oh no, it's 5% base fail on both. But it's the... Oh, did they change it? Hold on. 15% additional per on consecutive turns, 15% additional per consecutive turns, legs receive failure, 2 structure damage, 4 structure damage. So it weighs 1% less of the mech's total chassis tonnage, but in that 1% reduction, it does 2 damage instead of, or 2 more damage. That's really good. It's also 3 slots instead of 4. That's interesting. Maybe we can make this a stealth mech as well. Hold on. Hold on. So, instead of the bolt-on AMS, we'd be using the advanced jammer, or the IFF jammer. Which would also mean that we don't need the grippy hand. So I could actually use the grippy hand on the lamb. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Then we have, for armor, we already have a Guardian ECM clan activating it, Oh, right. Leg slots. So, my medic... Oh, and now it's the... Yeah. Fair enough. Case 2, rack ammo. Now we should be able to. Yeah. Okay. So we can give our 6'9" move sprint, melee Wolverine with a 10-ton mace and a rack 5. That has enough for 10 shots at ×6. Mimetic stealth armor. And the extra heat generation isn't really that big of a deal because even at ×6 it only generates 18 heat. Now it'd be hard to get the TSM activated with this setup. So I'd also definitely want to give it some kind of hot energy weapon, for sure. Okay, how would we do this? Also, because the armor tonnage changed, we lost the 11% reduction from Pharaoh. So we're no longer at an even tonnage. But that's fine, we can deal with that in a second. And there's 5 charges of minus 15% mimetic stealth visibility reduction. And harder to hit by 5 per charge. So that's just plus 5 defense, but they decay 1 for every 2 hexes moved. So if we're moving, not sprinting, at full speed, then we're losing 3 of the 5 charges, which means we're only getting an additional minus 30% and 2 defense. But that's still good. That's still really good. The only thing I would want at this point is a void system. Genuinely. Which is just an addition, kind of like Spaliner is. But I don't want to do it on the Wolvie. I feel like that would be better on a heavier chassis, like specifically a heavy mech. I'm thinking like a Black Knight or something would be very fun to have a medic Black Knight. So if we put the Pharaoh back, we have somehow gained 0.01. I thought we were at an even 0.5. Anyway, regardless. Oh yeah, the grippy hand. That's why. Regardless, we'll just give it clan sensors. Easy peasy. In part because like Guardian CM Clan is not exactly the best electronic warfare to build a stealth mech around. We do still have 2.9 carry capacity. So the question of whether or not I want to use groupie hand comes down to what other bolt-ons that are 2.9 or less might be interesting to run. I mean, bolt-on minigun's interesting. Not as interesting as the bolt-on AMS, though. I think I do prefer the safety. Also, yeah, I'm aware that we're slot-locked with this armor. I am absolutely looking at whether or not I should be switching it out for Clan Pharaoh or Clan Indo. And I'm thinking probably. Also, is there a fire control that... Ooh, we have a fire control Bloodsport. No, the gunnery is important for the Rack 5, keeping it from staying jammed. It's only a 0.5% reduction in jam chance, but it is a 1% increase in unjam, or 10% increase, in unjam chance. So that's good. Yeah, not really interested in giving it a fire control clan, and starting computer. I mean, fire control improved is interesting. Oh, no, we already have the advanced optics. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what we're doing. Fire control standard clan, cockpit clan, sensors clan. Yep. We are cobbling ourselves together a clan pick. And like I said, I want the mask, so in order to do that, I also want probe. I need to add a probe to it so that we can hit stealth targets more easily. And people with high ECM shield and stuff. So Internals is what I'm looking for. Ooh, I actually have glazed. So glazed will reduce the energy damage. Okay, no. I was thinking of... Yeah, Clanfarrow Lamellar is the one that's just damage reduction. Which, honestly... Yeah. The 14% additional weight for the armor is better on a melee mech than on something else. But then we are no longer have tonnage to get the TSM going, so... Nah, let's just toss in Clanfarrow. That's fine. So now we've got... Ooh, actually, Clanfarrow Lamellar would be really good on, like, a disco mech with just a bunch of, like, medium and small lasers. That's what we should use that for. So, for Gyro, a Gyro Dreadnought is exactly what we want to use here. So we will actually move the Clan Garnesium to the leg to give us the extra slot we need for the Dreadnought Gyro. So now, whenever we brace after melee, the Dreadnought Gyro will give us bulk. Okay. So, this means that we, at this point, will have 2 slots, and after we armor up the back a little bit more, 3 tons. And the goal with that 3 tons is going to be to generate enough heat that the TSM lights up. So TSM activates whenever we're over 27 heat. Which means we need to generate 36 heat. So our heat delta is... No, actually that wouldn't... No, because our heat delta right now is negative 27. So even if we generate 36 heat from our laser weapons, the rack spinning up at ×3 would just generate 9. Yeah, I could just hover this. Way easier. 9. So spinning the rack up to ×6, for example, will generate 18. We already have a little bit of selectivity of our heat with that, but I'm thinking if we give ourselves some... I think I got some heavy smalls. Yeah, small heavy laser. Clan. Generates 9 heat. And that's not going to be enough. Okay. Medium improved heavy, unfortunately, is 2 slots. You know, I guess we can still put the rack ammo on the other side torso. We do have spare rack ammo bins, so that's fine. So I can put a medium improved heavy, and that would generate 21 heat. Was the pirate medium heavy? Oh, it has a misfire chance. Weird. Yeah, it's one of those quirky weapons. I should probably just sell it. And there's also stuff like binary, but we want modular heat mounts. I mean, a small laser that generates 12, can we do better than that? No. The best we could do would be pulse lasers. Or medium lasers. Then again, we have 3 tons, so there's nothing that says we can't use a pulse laser and a whatever. Okay, so we have... We actually don't really care that much about the -1 accuracy penalty, which is the only thing the medium improved heavy will bring, is 1 reduction in the not having the penalty. But it can explode. Whereas this cannot explode, which is good. So we'll have 21 heat there. And then again, 18 heat from the rack. So that only brings us to 39. Which means our heat delta at full bore will be 3. So we'd take 9 rounds to get up to the TSM being active. I'm thinking that probably we can do better. So if we had... Yeah, so we have a heat delta of 3. In order to get the TSM active with 1 Alpha Strike, we would need a 24 heat weapon. And then if it's in a slightly cooler environment, we would want something like a 30 heat weapon. But we do not have the tonnage for a pulse laser. We only have 2 tons. That's what makes it tricky. Honestly, a Clannier large would be way too much heat. Yeah, I think 21 heat with 1 energy. Oh wait, we only have 2 slots. I forgot about that. Oh boy. Well, what's the hottest 1 slot weapon we have? Medium X Pulse at 18. These are all 2 slots. Already small at 12. So no, it is the Clannier large, or Clannier medium. No, it's not actually. Hold on. Okay. 18 versus 18. They're the same. So the question then would be, is 36 enough? 36, 45, and then another 9 would be 54. Oh, right! We're not at 36 cooling. We're at 30 cooling. I forgot that was extraneous heat sinks once we upgraded the engine core. Okay. Nice. Which also means we have 5 tons. Which then means we can go back to, hey, let's have a medium... No, not pirate. A medium heavy laser clan in the side torso. So that's 21 heat. And then we could put something in the head that generates... I mean, honestly, we also have the slots. If we, instead of putting the medium heavy laser, we put a 1-slot laser. That would give us 3 slots. So we could put another 1-slot laser in the head, and then a missile whip, a 1-slot missile weapon, and a single bin of ammo. Which is a fun idea. Like a CR MkII clan with a half bin of clan ammo would be preferred. But it looks like we have... Yeah. Oh no, that's showing the wrong one. That's the Inferno thing. I mean... Is a Streak 6 also 1 slot? No. A Clan Streak 6 is 2 slots. So... Then... Yeah, we 100% go with... Do we just have standard clan ammo? Or is that not in our... That is not something we have. Oh boy. Okay. And yeah, that would also give us another thing we could toggle on or off to generate more or less heat. Streaks are actually not as interesting because we can't easily control how much heat we're generating with them. That's 2 slots. That's, yeah, that's single use stuff. That doesn't help. I mean, no. Nope, those are all 2 slots. Yeah, so, wait, actually. Clan LRMs don't have a minimum range. I don't have a Clan 10 to look at, but I'm pretty sure a Clan 10 would only be one slot. Oh, it's a shame I don't have a Clan 10. Because I think Clan 10 is still one slot. It might be two, though. But we do have this Clan 5. Do we have a half bin of LRM ammo? Clan LRM is what we'd be looking for. And we have a full bin. Clan LRM half. Yep, that is 12 rounds worth of ammo. Now, again, this heavy laser is going to need to be two separate one-slot lasers, but I think we can do that, because we can actually use 2-ton lasers, like the medium X pulse. That's actually really interesting. So the medium X pulse is high accuracy, and the downside is that it has a shorter range. We definitely want to be in short range. Whereas the Clan ER medium is, yeah, double the range, almost. I mean, there's also the Clan ER large idea of generate a bunch of heat all at once, but nah. Between the LRM 5 and the Rack 5 at times 6, that's, what, 24? Yeah, 24. So then we would have 6 additional cooling, meaning that we would need 33 heat between the two laser weapons. I'm pretty sure that 16 or 18 and 18 is 36. Although, there is an argument to be made for not wanting to be past. Oh no, that's right, because we can just spin down the rack. Never mind. Yeah. So I do think that 18 and 18 is probably the best we're going to get. I was thinking for a second of going like 12, but then on a cool planet especially, we will not be able to generate enough. Something like that theoretically works. All of our weapon systems are in the head or side torsos. I actually think I should probably put the TSM inside and use the support hardpoint for... Oh, I don't have the slots for it. Never mind. I'd have to swap out the endo for clan endo, and I'm not willing to do that. Actually, I'm gonna replace that with another medium X pulse in the cockpit. Yeah, another medium X pulse, I think. And then drop a half ton of armor? That doesn't sound very good. That doesn't sound very good at all. I have one slot, 1.5 tons. I could also give it a probe, but then I'm basically giving up on quickly getting the TSM active in one turn, which is fine. As long as the Rack 5 doesn't jam, then I'm already able to generate, 24 heat per turn with the LRM 5 clan and the medium X pulse. Now, it makes more sense to drop the LRM 5, and it makes more sense to have a probe. So, going back to weapons, going back to the energy, even though the LRM 5 would give us more longer range, we don't really have any longer range, so it's fine. Just give it another medium X pulse. Beautiful. And that means that if we're firing both the medium X pulses, we're generating 6 That's actually probably too much. Because that means we would have to keep one of them completely silent once we were actually at... Okay, so let's shoot for activating the TSM in 2 rounds. That means we only actually want to be generating 13 heat past our cooling, plus a small variable. But I will put that LRM5 back. I think that's helpful. If only because it gives us a 6 heat thing we can toggle on or off. And it also gives another slot that can get crit on that side of the mech. So, LRM, clan, half. Okay, so once again we are at this point where we have 1 slot and a head. That can put 1 laser. We can either thin armor or add more armor. And that means we can take maybe I do use the clan Indo here. So I just realized I could also use so the where is it? There we go. Engine heatsink removal. If I'm using standard heatsinks, I can free up a full ton by taking 4 slots. Which means if I replace the Indo with clan Indo, and then the 4 heat sinks, and then 2 more, then I have 2.5 tons and plenty of slots. So then I can actually put the medium X pulse in the head, and I can give it the medium heavy laser. And then in addition to that, I still have 1.5 tons and 2 slots. So I can then give it a probe. Exactly like that. So now I have a heat delta of 24 if I'm firing the rack at ×3. Which means I can get the TSM active in 1 round if I'm firing the rack at ×4. And then on the turns that the rack's jammed, I use both lasers and the LRM. If the rack's not jammed and I decide to spin it above ×4, then we'll generate extra heat unless we're on a cool planet. And on a hot planet, we just never get to use the medium heavy laser. Puts it. But if the rack is jammed, then our heat delta is 21, 39, 45. Actually, still too much. Yeah, okay. So the medium heavy laser, if I'm able to use it, means I don't use the medium X pulse. It means I replace the medium X pulse with so right now, without any other additional weapons, we're at a heat delta of 6 if we're firing our rack ×3. So if we spin it up to ×6, we're generating 15. So 12 heat would be exactly enough to get our TSM active in 1 alpha strike, if we're firing the rack ×6. Maybe that's excessive. Because we're probably going to be shooting at least, let's say, 2 rounds before we start actually hitting things with the mace. Which means on a heat-neutral planet where there's no heat increase or decrease, we'd be currently at a 15 heat delta. Which means in 2 turns we have the TSM 100% on, without any additional weapons. So, do we have a Bloodhound probe, actually? It's 3 slots, though. Never mind. If Bloodhound probe was also 2 slots, I definitely would have taken it over the Beagle probe and just, yeah. Anyway. And then, yeah, Flamers and stuff it's cute, but we don't have any other heat, so I think we maybe go with the small X pulse. Actually, what's the small heavy? Small heavy is 30 damage, but -1 accuracy. That's completely fine. We should be able to get into 180 meters quickly. But then the turns where I can't shoot because it's range, that actually means I'm not generating that heat. So with the LRM and the rack, I can start generating heat at 600. Then the medium heavy laser is 360. Large heavy laser is definitely too much. Maybe I do go with the clan ER medium. Or maybe I just go with the standard ER medium. Again, we're trying to primarily generate heat. The damage of the weapon system, generate and control our heat. The damage of the weapon system doesn't matter as much. So that's a 21 heat delta. If we spin the rack up to ×6, it's an extra 9. So that's a 30 heat delta. So if we can cut that in half, that'd be good. Basically just not have that medium laser. So 2 ER mediums. Heat delta of 15 if we're firing ×3. If we go up to ×9, or ×6, then it'd be 24, which wouldn't be enough to activate the TSM in 1 turn. So let's look at a slightly cooler option. Diverse optics. Just a bog standard medium laser in the head. In part so that they punch out, it's not a big deal at all. But we have so many ER mediums, so might as well make it an ER medium. And then for the slightly cooler weapon, we can actually use a clan medium pulse. So now, instead of 36, it's 27, which means our heat delta is 12. But if we spin the rack up to ×6, then it's 21. Which is still not enough to activate it in 1 turn, unless we're on a hot system. So if we are on a hot system, then absolutely we can activate the TSM in 1 turn. If we're in a cool system, then it'll probably take us 2 to 3 turns. But we can regulate the heat both by having the... Ooh. Hold up. We have an extra slot. Why do we have an extra slot? Oh, right. Medium heavy lasers, 2 slots. So that's interesting. What if I can save half a ton, or 1 ton, because I can also just, yeah, I could actually, okay, hold up. If I use a clan 15, that's, no, 2 slots, but 3.5 tons. That's the big problem. 3.5 tons instead of 1 ton. So it's 2.5 tons heavier for the weapon system, and then I'd need more ammo. Because this would only be 4 shots. So I'd need at least 1 ton of ammo, even if I was turning it off and on. And it's 18 heat. I thought it was going to be less of a heat increase from 6 to... That's fine. Yeah, never mind. Okay. And I know there is also the Bissell and Ballistic on the hand, or on the arm, but I'd like to be able to regulate my TSM to the point where I can keep it on every turn while in melee range. So... yeah, there's still the matter of the specialist slot. We haven't even gotten to that yet. I wonder if... I could give it a heat bank. So that means that we have 20% resistance to heat damage, which gives us a chance to cool down before we start overheating our ammo cooks off. And then that will let us go back to... since we're losing 6 extra heat per turn, that lets us go back to the medium heavy laser and the Clan ER, was it? No, ER medium. So that's a heat delta of 15. If we spin the rack up by 9, then our heat delta is 24. So it was not the ER medium. No, that's right. It was not the Clan Heavy. It was the ER medium and then the X-Pulse. Medium X-Pulse, yes. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. So that's a heat delta of 21 if we spin the rack up. If we let the rack rest, it's still a heat delta of 3. You know, honestly, I'm fine with it taking more turns. I don't really want it to pop in one turn, so we can give it another... we got an ER medium and a Clan ER medium. So, yeah, 600 meters on the Clan ER medium. This means our heat delta is 12. If we spin the rack up, it's 21. Maybe the heat bank's not the right call. No. I want the AMS, I think. Which means I need to give it the grippy hand. Which also gives it bonus accuracy, so I don't know why I'm like hesitant to put the grippy hand on. +1 handheld accuracy. +1 accuracy for physical weapon attacks, which I think means +2 for melee weapons. And that lets us then put the bolt-on AMS, which also now is in the side torso that has case. Beautiful. And then we can use that extra slot and the extra tonnage to give it that Bloodhound probe I was talking about. Yeah. Counters ECM stealth by 3. Which, yeah, whenever you're on top of somebody, it already makes their stealth not work very well. But this will also mean any ECM shield will not mess with our sensors. So, no visuals, penalty gone, ECM stealth, not a problem. So, yeah, this should be good. And then the Guardian ECM is really good when it's active. But we could also, if we strip half a ton somehow, we could give it an Angel ECM, which is even better. Oh, nope, never mind. One slot. Never mind. Okay. Oh yeah, I was going to give it a mask. That's right. Wow, I went all the way down this rabbit hole and I completely forgot about the mask. Okay. Mask Clan. Can't be used with TSM, that's right. I always forget that. Ooh, that's a question. Do I prefer an Angel ECM and a Beagle probe? Yes. Yeah, there was going to be a continuation of that question. It's completely unnecessary. Yes. Yes, I do. Also, this needs to be higher on that side. We can drop the leg armor a bit. That. And then... There we go. There we go. That looks good. Alright. So our heat delta is 18. With the rack not jammed. When the rack is jammed, our heat delta will be 9 if we fire everything. So on hotter planets, we'll probably be leaving one of the medium lasers silent. Probably. Or... there is the 12 heat RE small laser. Which if I replace, and if I slap that in the head, and I give the RE small laser to the side torso there. That is 12 heat, but it can only be used at super close range. That's like 4 hexes, I think. I think it's 30 meters per hex. Don't quote me on that. So our heat delta is 15. If our rack is jammed, it would be 6. Wait, is that worse? Oh man, I'm confused. I've been spitting numbers out so much. You know what? I'm just going to give it the bright bloom laser and stop thinking. Okay. This is currently on a heat-neutral planet, a heat-neutral system, a heat delta of 9 if the rack is jammed, and 27 if the rack is not jammed, and I go times 6. Which means, most of the time, if we're firing the rack until it jams, then we'll be keeping both of the lasers silent. And that could work. 18 heat, 15 heat, 6 heat. And then 9 heat, or 3 heat per shot. Interesting. I mean, we do have 12 rounds of missiles, 10 rounds of times 6, assuming it never jams. Or, again, we can just accept that we'll have to shoot for 2 rounds before the TSM's active. That's not a problem. Not really. So we can drop the Clanny our medium. And we can give it... There's a small heavy. Small heavy. 9 heat. 30 damage. Sounds good. Compared to the, I think it was 18 damage, or 18 heat. So now our heat delta, if we're firing at times 3, is 9, which is 3 rounds in a heat neutral planet until we're at the TSM being active. or 1 round of ×3 and then a second round of ×6. If at any point the rack is jammed, then we're heat neutral and we can keep shooting everything until it unjams. I think that's good. And then that lets us actually finish armoring up some more. And I'll give it a little bit more back armor. In part because that bonus armor from Bulwark doesn't apply to the back. Because when you're getting shot in the back, you do not get the damage reduction. So instead of 30% damage reduction, the back will just take full damage. So it'll be good to have armor back there, for sure. And we could also lower some armor on the shield arm. But I don't think so. I think this is good. I think this is good. Bloodhound Probe is nice, but it's also better for longer range units. The plus 20% sensor range and plus 25% increased sight range doesn't really help a melee mech. But using the active Angel ECM will definitely be nice. Just be on top of everyone scrambling their sensors. Hot systems will be able to activate the TSM more easily, but importantly we have 3 different weapon systems that have 3 different amounts of heat if we toggle them on or off, in addition to our main weapon, which doesn't generate very much heat at all. And the bolt-on AMS does not generate heat because it's a bolt-on AMS. But if we had like a laser AMS, it would make it harder to toggle on and off. So I think this is, at long last, what the Wolverine's going to look like. And dear goodness, there goes all our money. Oh, right. Also, the Shockwave. The Shockwave also has a Rack 5 and 2 bins of ammo. So, like, we have a lot of Rack 5 and ammo. Which is why I'm also going to go to the Panther here. The Panther's whole thing is it does a bunch of extra damage with jumps. So I want to make it jump better so that Jelly Roll's a little safer. Actually, also give it, I think, the Clan ECM. It's a half ton more. This will be a lot quicker than the last one, for sure. Give it the Clan Guard ECM, absolutely. Drop the UAC 5 ammo. I want to give it the Rack 5 that we have right here. And I want to give it enough ammo to run that Rack 5. Which means I want to give it at least 2 single bins, but preferably at least a double bin. This is 10 rounds, or no, 11 rounds of ×4. Now, obviously that's a lot, so add into that I want to give it improved jump jets. Where are you? Equip. So that it can jump further. And that lets it use 8. And you can see quickly we are running out of slots. Well, one way to save slots is going to be dropping those so that we can give it a Clan XL engine, which is much cheaper on a light mech. Cool. And we're going to then use that to... Oh wait, actually, I forgot. Improved jump jets are heavy. They are 0.75, not 0.5. Okay. So, we can swap out the heat sinks for double heat sinks. Oh boy. We're running out of slots, we're running out of stuff. Okay, this isn't working as well as I thought it would. Can also just drop the tag completely, but this isn't working. I will have to come back to it. But I am wanting to put a Rack 5 onto its arm, and The Scorpion, I definitely don't like the Streak 6 on it. Case is whatever. The mask on it, nah. Well, I mean, ideally we'll put it somewhere where it can hunker down in its siege mode and fire at crazy long ranges. So, save the tonnage by not using the mask, and we have 3 missile hard points, 1 ballistic hard point, 1 more energy hard point. You know what? I don't have any Rack 2 ammo, I don't think. That's unfortunate. We could get an Ultra 2. Not great. We don't have any LB5 ammo, I don't think. If we give it a structure upgrade, we could potentially give it an LB10, but that's not really that good of a payoff. So yeah, we're gonna go with missiles, I think. I think we will go with missiles. But what kind of missiles? Definitely long range. Yeah, why not LRMs? Ah, right. The one head slot is... Okay. Side and center torsos get +1 accuracy, -1 recoil. So actually, it is interesting to give it a rack. Or an ultra. But we only have rack 2 risk ammo, we don't have rack 2 ammo. Ooh, actually we do, hold on. We have a double bin. Hello. Okay, we are running the rack 2 on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Or wait, was I gonna run the rack 2 on... What's the tonnage difference? Oh yeah, it's 2 tons lighter. That doesn't completely... I'm gonna wait to build it until after I finish the Panther. But you can see where I'm going. The Shockwave, genuinely, I think I'm just gonna throw 5 tons worth of weapons in it as easily as I can and then just field it that way. Yeah, we have a medium laser and 2 more medium lasers. And then, do we have a tag still? Yeah, give it a tag. And why do you have ammo in your chest? That seems like a terrible idea. Like a really terrible idea. Wow. Jeez. Okay. I mean, this is only 40 shots at rack 5. And it doesn't have any kind of case or anything. So I could also actually give it a AMS Mark II and a whole bunch of ammo. Give it Clan Pharaoh. Ah, it needs more slots. Right, because of the Indo. Wait, why do you have an extra heatsink? You don't need that. So, double bin of AMS ammo feeding a single AMS Mark II is okay. It's alright. Can fire up to 3 times per round. Fires up to 50 shots. So it can fire 150 ammo per turn. Which means this is at least 3 turns of massive amounts of protection. That should be fine. Because genuinely, if we're... Well, it only does 1 damage per missile and has a 35% missile interception. So it actually fires a lot, but it doesn't really do that much. Huh. better than nothing. So with that, we still have a -6 delta, which if we spin up the rack 5 becomes a +3 delta. That's fine. Honestly, drop that, give it another bin of AMS ammo. And then I would love to give it case, actually. But that's fine. It's fine. I mean, honestly, if the ammo explodes anywhere, it's going to kill the mechs, so might as well put some in the center. Might as well. And honestly, yeah, it might as well be the rack ammo, because that is the one that's going to get expended the fastest. Alright. There's also an argument to be made for, well, definitely dropping the Artemis attachment. It doesn't make any sense to use it for a single LRM. And then also dropping the LRM. So that gives us 7 tons, actually. Huh. So we have a ballistic hardpoint center. That's not super useful. 1 missile in the side torso. We could also give it clan glazed, actually. But no, I'm going to save that for a heavier assault mech because it only has 5 fixed slots. Okay. So if we're doing that, we now do have case in our legs. Boom. And boom. And then that leaves us with almost 10 tons. So that means we don't need a super weight efficient weapon like a rack. That means we can use something more fun. So this is actually a decently fast mech at 5.7. And we can then, oh yeah, there we go. Safely in his side torso is a UAC-20 that we only have 3 shots for. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, that's so tragic. I want to do that, so I'm going to wait to work on it. If we continue dropping it, I guess we'll just throw the lasers in like I was talking about. Just like throw in, actually, just throw in an ER large. Nice. There we go. Our heat efficiency is probably garbage. No, it's actually still -15. So if we spin the rack up to ×6, we're still heat neutral. That's hilarious. But yeah, we'll just do that and continue dropping it. Although I do kind of want to... But it only has 80 armor in the legs. It's fine. Worst case scenario, we lose the chassis. Who cares, honestly? It's hard to be attached to mechs that you just kind of accidentally picked up at some point and then did nothing with. Alright, cataphract. Actually, what's the recording time at? Well then. So this is gonna be the one that I really spend time building. Because this is a 70-tonner. That already has an XL in it, has a bunch of ballistic hardpoints, and is otherwise just ready. Internals. First thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm giving this thing the Gyro XX9. So that's going to save 2.25 tons. It also... Oh, wait, no. I got this one mixed up with another. I thought I had a weapons thing in the center. It does not. It has no weapons in the center. So it's actually better to not do that and keep the slots in the center torso instead of the side torsos. What mech was I thinking of? Doesn't matter. Anyway, clan intel. This... Ooh, Clan Pharaoh Lamellar sounds fun, actually. Then there's also Clan Glazed. Well, we have protected actuators, so we have resistance against crits. Other than that, nothing really pointing this in one direction or another, so... yeah, let's give it glazed and make it a heck of a good shooting mech. So, we have arm-mounted ballistic energy missile. We do not have missile anywhere else, so if I wanted to go overheat, all of my heat would basically be... would it? Actually? Hold on. Do I still have incendiary machine gun ammo in spades? Yes, I do. And sorry if the train in the background is being picked up. We only go 4.6, but... what is the longest range machine guns we have? 120 meters. 120 meters, okay. We're not fast enough for machine guns, and we don't really want to stay that close, especially since any kind of punches or kicks will do 50% extra damage against us. So now, let's look at longer range ideas. Also, we have a Royal Double Heatsink kit. Nice. Unfortunately, that means... definitely want to give it... where is... oh, cooling is here. Yeah. So we have engine heatsink +1. Boom. Because we're definitely going to be putting energy weapons as well. And because it has so many energy hard points, I think this might be fun for Mechwarrior mediums. Just as a baseline. Now we do have to be cautious that any... ooh, minus 8% heat generated by weapons fire. Any heat sinks that we want to put in have to be doubles. So 3 slots per 6 cooling. Which is quite nasty. Yeah, so that's out to 600 meters. And... there's no minimum range on them. Clan LRMs, 5 tons each. That is an arm. And I don't really have much of a shield side because I do have an XL engine, so if either side torso goes down, we lose the mech. But having a shield arm is a good idea, and I am not going to put 5 ballistic weapons on it, so... yeah. Maybe this is where we put the AMS Mark II. Because the longer missiles travel through the circle around a target, the more shots that the AMS gets off. Yeah, we're definitely going to want case 2 as well. So, case 2. We're going to need LRM-20 ammo. So... if we give it 2 Artemis systems, then we can give each one a bin of ammo. And that's 6 Alpha Strikes of Artemis. It's not a bad idea. I am a little hesitant to put this much in the arms, though, so maybe instead of 2 LRM-20s, maybe we just go with the LRM-15. Plan 15. Nothing says we have to use every hardpoint. Ooh, or maybe this is a good mech for an MML. I don't usually use them, just because the jam chance is, you know, problematic. MMLs don't have a jam chance anymore? Oh, wow. So it's just that it fires 3 less LRMs and it's heavier than an SRM. Interesting. Ooh, actually. Ooh. Maybe this is where we start finally using the MRMs we have. Just a casual MRM 50 on the arm. That still leaves us with the ability to give something else MRM 40 and 2 more MRM 10s. Is this interesting though? Not really. 50 isn't a good breakpoint for MRMs. 180 shots, 240 shots. Okay, so then we'll drop the 30. Or maybe we just don't commit hard onto the MRMs. We just get an MRM 20. Nothing fancy at all. Then a tandem. Oh wow, that's 6 turns. Yeah, no, that should go with the MRM 40. Should this be the MRM 40 build? I mean, it would get +1 evasion ignore with the arm-mounted MRM 40. So this is 6 turns of regular MRM ammo. And then... yeah, you know what? In 6 turns of tandem, just fishing for crits. It's fine. So then that leaves us with ballistics. And I know we have ultra ammo. We also have LB... Ooh. Do we have an LB-20? We do have an LB-20. Oh, baby. So the LB-20's max range is 480, except for when you're using LB-20 slug. Which gives it 120 max range. Which means that that is now a 600 meter, 100 damage pinpoint weapon. Give it some Dragon's Breath as well. So that's 5 shots of slug, 5 shots of Dragon's Breath. We still have enough tonnage. Okay, we're going to give it the MRM 40, I think. Yeah, we're going to drop this half bin. We're going to give it the MRM 40. Yeah. So the MRM 40, and now just ammo. Alright. Ooh, actually, are we able to... do we have enough slots? Because of the glazed armor only taking 6. Where is it? Where is the... there it is, okay. Apollo is 1 slot. Boom. So we have an Apollo attachment. This has to be in the same location. We do not have the extra slot available center for it to shift. We could put it on the arm. But the stabilized housing can only go. Never mind. It's fine. Oh, it doesn't even have recoil. What am I even talking about? Yeah, never mind. Okay. Ammo. So right now we've got 5 rounds of damage, 5 rounds of heat, and then we bring LB-20 cluster for 5 rounds of FU you get crit. Yeah. And also +2 accuracy against flying units and +2 accuracy in general. Yeah. That's scary. So now the tandem is 3 Alpha Strikes, which will be great if used in conjunction with the cluster. Oh no, the slug, to punch holes in armor and also crit them out before the holes get punched. Then we can switch to the MRM, where is it? Apollo ammo. And that is 8 rounds? Wait. Hold on. 80 would be 2 rounds. 160 would be 4 rounds. 240 would be 6 rounds. Okay. So that's 6 rounds of high accuracy damage. And 3 rounds of through armor damage. And we have 1 slot left, and we definitely have enough tonnage to put 1 more bin, and that bin is going to definitely be incendiary. So between the Dragon's Breath and the incendiary MRM, we should be able to give people a lot of heat to think about. Okay. And all this at... Oh, 480. I don't know why I thought MRMs were 600. Well, optimal range is still going to be the same as we close with enemies. Optimal range for everything is 240-ish. Something like that. I think I was thinking of the streaks that are just about 600 meters. Yeah, the SRMs are shorter. Yeah, LRMs are definitely way longer. Or was it because I just looked at the MMLs? No? No? There is not a single missile weapon that has a 600 meter. I had to have been thinking of the streak MRMs. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was 600. Regardless. We are going to have a fun time with this mech. And then the last... It has no electronic warfare. And the AMS has no ammo. Okay. Well, the AMS has no ammo, so we definitely drop it. As far as heat efficiency goes, no big deal. We just toss in a clan thermal exchanger. Boom. And then that's still not enough. Clan heat bank as well. Not quite. Switching out the clan ER mediums for something that generates less heat. That's the ticket. Okay. I mean, again, our optimal range is 480. The LBX can reach further. I mean, not optimal. Max range is 480, except for when the LBX is using slug. So there's no need for the lasers to reach farther than that. That's only 240. That's not far enough. I'm just looking to see if there's anything interesting. I mean, honestly, nah. We're gonna drop the clan ER mediums, and I think we're just gonna give it a bunch of regular ER mediums. Just everywhere there was a clan ER medium, there's now going to be a regular inner sphere ER medium. And that fixes our heat problems. We have a heat delta of 8. So if it's a cool planet, then we're heat neutral. If it's a hot planet, we just drop 1 medium laser. Our optimal range is 240 meters. Our max range is 480. But if we are in 480 meters, things die. This is fun. Then we also give it some more armor, of course. Of course. Actually, it looks like we can just max the armor. And then give it, obviously, some back armor, because we're not that super long range that we can not worry about stuff being in our back. that. Okay. And then we still have a ton. And we have a slot. Which means we can now give it some electronic warfare. I just realized the Clan Guardian ECM is the same as a standard ECM. Huh. Actually, no, I do not have a, what's it, a sensor, electronic warfare suite that is also sensors. Now this is a good question. What kind of fire control do I want to give it? We have no jam chance, so we don't really care about the advanced target computer. I think we give it the fire control Mark II. Because, like, +1 evasion ignore. And +1 gunnery. Ah, but it doesn't have night vision. Okay, we give it the fire control improved then. +1 gunnery and night vision. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cockpit. I mean... we could make that work. Like, we could get 2 tons. But I don't wanna. I mean, cockpit's small, honestly, wouldn't be a terrible idea. It would free up a ton at the cost of 1 piloting, which we don't really care about, and 1 gunnery, which we don't honestly really care about. Yeah. That frees up a slot and a ton, which means we can go back to electronic warfare and do something fun. Again, the fire control improved is about the night vision. We just give it some clan sensors, why not? And then do the electronic warfare. We don't really care about the Angel ECM. This isn't really going to be like a right up in your face kind of mech. It is the best defense at passive mode, but it's best used when you're in short range. Same with Guardian ECM Clan. Warfare Suite Quick Sell, I should probably just sell. It's kind of trash. Like, it weighs 2 tons, but I'm pretty sure standard ECM is better protection. Protects allies with a shield of 1, carrier with a shield of 1. Yeah, so if you have an ECM, just a bog standard ECM in passive mode, you have more protection. But then again, this gives our allies +1 ECM shield. And we're running glazed armor. I think we do. I think we run the Warfare Suite Quick Sell here. Because that lets this not only have a little bit of protection itself and get a little bit of probe, but it also gets to just not waste a bunch of tonnage on really nice electronic warfare and just have raw damage to, you know, to counteract it. And the cooling is kind of insane. The Royal Double Heatsink Kit is reducing all of our heat generated by weapons fire by 8%, and then also another flat 6 per turn on top of the double heat sinks. Then the heat bank is also another 6 heat per turn and 20% heat damage resist. And the Clan Thermal Exchanger, which I actually wish was an inner sphere, because the inner sphere works better but takes more carry capacity. Yeah, that'd be fun. Speaking of, actually, carry capacity, I can give it a handheld weapon because that arm doesn't have a weapon. And I've got 3.5 tons left. Those are bolt-on. You can give it a grenade gun. Honestly, yeah. Apparently that's got heat damage in it. Interesting. Cool. AoE, heat damage, and burn duration and strength. Yep. This is a very interesting build. And the reason I didn't go for the flamers is just because of the range issue. So, flamers, max range 120 meters. If this thing is getting into 120 meters, it's... Ooh. Oh no, tonnage. I definitely would rather spend that tonnage on the LB20 Dragon's Breath and the Imran 40 because not many other mechs can carry those weapon systems as effectively. And yeah, the LB20 being on the left torso, if we lose it, that'd be a little bit sad, but at the same time, we have a shield arm. It's fine. So yeah, I think I'm good. I think this is going to be the Fract build. Ilya Muromets. Yeah, let's do that. And that is the last build I'm going to do on camera. You know what? I've already spent this long. I might as well just finish. Okay. What are we definitely doing? We are definitely doing... Actually... Yeah, we did use the last of the clan Indo. I'm kind of tempted to use the reinforced, actually. Just to make the light mech a little more survivable. Because, like, the reinforced gives an additional 50%, so it's 15 more, basically, protection on each arm. And 50% resistance to critical hits, which critical hits is the main reason you know, worry about carrying a bunch of ammo and whatever. And that's 0.88 instead of saving 0.175 or 1.75. So I'm paying 2.5 tons or so in exchange for having a lot more slots to work with, but less tonnage. And tonnage was the problem we had before. Okay. Well, let's just do this. XL engine. Why not? Then I definitely want to give it the improved jump. Oh, no. I don't think I do want to give it the improved jump jets. They're so much heavier. Like, yes, we could get 8 jump instead of 5. But that's... Each one's a half ton. That's not ideal. I don't know. Let's see. Rack 5. That was the idea. That was the entire idea of what to do here. Give it a rack 5 so that when it jumps, the rack 5 is doing 33 times 6. That's the whole idea. That's the fun part. We just gotta make it work. And this is not doing it. Yeah, we could drop the tag. We could do a lot of things. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna use the rack 2 instead. But then instead of it being 33 times 6, it's 16.5 times 6. That's so underwhelming. I want to make this work. How can I make this work? Actually, no, that doesn't save nearly enough. Okay. And then we don't have slots for that. Oof. Because if we hypothetically did have slots for that, oh wow. We'd still be... Oh no, we'd be spot on. So we just need to get 6 slots. Oh no, 5 slots. We have an extra slot right there. Right now our heat seeks take 9. Jumping takes 15. We have a heat delta of negative 21. Huh. Okay, here's a crazy idea. Well, maybe not crazy, but interesting. So, first things first, repair. What if we change out the double heat sinks for clan? Still give it the XL engine. Still give it the Rack 5. Still give it the the only double bin of Rack 5 ammo. Actually, no. 2 single bins of Rack 5 makes sense. It can fire ×4, 10 rounds. And if it runs out of ammo, because it had good hit chances and fired ×6 a lot, well, then we just run. Because it's a Panther. It probably shouldn't be in any fights that are too prolonged anymore. So the clan double heatsink kit, we then need to give it. Oh no, that's the heatsink kits. Okay, there we go. Clan double heatsink, clan double heatsink, clan double. Okay, so we do need 2 more slots. If we had 2 slots, which would require clan endo, we could literally just build it. Endo composite will have to shave off 0.88 tons, but at that point, we might as well shave off 1.75. So no, I'm just gonna wait and the double heatsink kit's fine. The heatsink doubles are fine. I just need clan endo. I just need clan endo. And the reason I'm specifically giving it the XL engine is because... What? Oh, right. Because if this mech loses a side torso, I probably want it to go down. Genuinely. And I'll wait to put the Rack 5 and the Rack 5 ammo in until we have found some endo. Some clan endo. Or figured something else out. Also, I think I'm going to drop the armored cowl. That actually should probably go into one of the heavier mechs that I just got done spending a lot of time and money putting together. Especially if it has some other good head components and it doesn't need the +1 piloting from clan. We have that repaired, so everything will be ready to go. We do actually have 2 hands. Hold on. So instead of using the bolt-on tandem rockets... right, because we can't melee and jump, so... That's why we don't have a melee weapon instead. Yep, that's the right spot. Okay. Yeah, so we can just leave it at that, and then all we have to do is give it weapons, and we could actually run it just as is. I mean, actually, if we just don't put a weapon on, we can run it just as is. Medium laser tag. Maybe even toss an additional tag in the head. Just for fun. Try to get tags on people. Do negligible damage. I mean, I could also just temporarily put something that also weighs 10 tons, but doesn't. That's right, we don't have LB5 ammo. LB10. It's 11 tons. Ultra 10. Hold up. Can we do that? I mean, an Ultra 10 is not as good as a rack in the fact that it's like 33 times 6, but doing 55 times 2 is pretty good. Nope, still need slots. But it does take less slots than a rack. So we can still do the double heatsink thing with the clan double heatsink kit and the clan double heatsinks and the Ultra 10 ammo, which just uses regular Ultra 10, right? Yeah. So 2 bins of Ultra 10 ammo in the leg. And that's enough for 10 Alpha Strikes of 110 damage plus the medium laser and tag. Oh yeah, Excel Engine. That's what's wrong. There we go. There we go. Success. Alright. And then now that we've got a bunch more cockpit components that are just kind of... fire control standard clan. Cockpit clan. Might as well. Yep. And then... if we get some, I don't know, like LB5 ammo or something. But no, this is too fun. Unfortunately, it is like 90 damage to knock the entire weapon system out of commission. That's less fun. But if I'm only dropping on low-rated missions, it'll be fine. Worst case scenario, we just have to kill more clanners until we get another one. And that, at long last, is all of the crazy builds we're doing. And the Cockatrice, of course, goes last because I cannot currently pilot it and it still needs a lot of work. But in 8 days we arrive, which means the Flying Centurion will be ready for service. And then we'll still need another day for the Wolverine, day for the Shockwave, 4 more days for the Panther, and then finally the Fractal will be ready in 6 days after we arrive. Looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and get there. And at long last, we are out of the Mechbay. But you know what? I haven't done one of these, like, just spend, what, 2 hours? 3 hours? Oh, man. In the Mechbay. In a long time, so I hope you enjoy. Yeah, we have arrived. Continue. Alright. We have arrived. Just quickly looking in the store. And we have some interesting stuff. Amos Clan, 187,000. It's always nice to have. Laser AMS would be more interesting, but it's fine. Another LB5 clan, which is fine. It's, I mean, 4 slots, pretty light. 15 clan, instantly buying that. Ultra 5 clan, absolutely. Battle computer medium range, yes. Clan hardened, very cool, but not an instant buy. Neural implants appointment, very cool. We're gonna mess with that next episode. And a bunch of battle armor weapon or ammo. Yeah, sure. I'll buy 1 bin of LB2 slug. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but just in case. And with that, I'm gonna call it for the day. So we'll see you next weekend when we start doing all of that. But for now, that's been your episode of Roguetech for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.